Okay, so what I mean by long division and standard division, we're gonna focus on that today. Um, it's very straightforward. Let's see if I, oops, my bad. Stream time. Okay. So let's talk about. Why is that? Wait, that doesn't make sense. Screen. Oh, because my screen's not turned on. I'm an idiot. Okay. All right, let's talk about division. So we're gonna division a polynomial. So let's start with simple division that I put on the first test that you guys need to know. If you just have, and let's just review your exponent rules. So be x to the 4, y to the second, minus 2x, y to the negative 2, plus 4xy, all over 2x squared y. Okay, so I want you to simplify this. And this is the very beginning, the first test. The first test I says, hey, can you divide this? How many of you guys remember this? Good. Okay. What are you supposed to do? Split it? Okay, good. You should split them. So it'll be 6x to the 4th, y to the second, over 2x squared y, minus 2x y to the negative 2 over 2x squared y, plus 4xy over 2x squared y. So this certain skill is always occur in SAT, in calculus, is something that is very overlooked very easily. If you take calculus, then sometimes in order for you to take a derivative, you need to simplify, and this is the best way to simplify. Or integration is something polynomial over monomial. This is actually on my BC exam yesterday that they had to take integrations. So with that being said, you just have to follow the exponent rules. So then this 6 and 2 can simplify down to 3 because 6 divided by 2 is 3. x4 over x2 is going to be x squared. y2 minus y1 is going to be y. So that's our first term. 2 and 2 cancel out. This one is going to be x to the negative 1, y to the negative 3. Let me know if you don't understand. I will show you in a second, but let me finish this part. Okay, so this is what I got. Do you understand it or you don't understand it? If you don't understand it, where you don't understand? Yes.
For this, are you wanting us to make the negatives?
Yes, but I'm going to do that next step. Okay, so the negative exponent should not be there, but we can move that. Anything you don't understand? Yes.
Why is there x negative 1?
X to the negative 1, good. So it's, I'm going to write down the exponent rule. So a to the m times a to the n equal to a to the m plus n. A to the m over a to the n equal to a to the top minus bottom. So top minus bottom. You should know all the exponent rules. Anything to the 0 power is what? 1. A to the negative n equal to 1 over a to the n, or 1 over a to the negative n equal to a to the n over 1. That's called negative exponent rule. A to the m to the n power is equal to a to the m times n. You should know all those rules. This is the only thing I write down almost a billion times throughout my lifetime. I don't know, not a billion times, maybe like 100,000 times. Pretty much every day I teach, I will go through this with my online lessons, with teaching people SATs and stuff like that. And people always forget certain things. So n roots of a to the m equal to a to the m over n. So make sure you have write down, make sure you understand them because it's always used on SAT, on any basic math star foundation. This is actually the most important foundation block. It's the exponent rules. Now, if you see this 1, right? 1 over x to the 2, because if I don't write anything, that means the 1 power. So it'll be 1 minus 2, it'll be -1. And that's how you get -1. And -2 minus 1 is going to here, that's going to give you -3. 1 minus 2, that's how you get -1. This is a 1 minus 1, which is 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1, so you don't write it down. Then I'm going to simplify that. And this is probably the idea as I want you to get to is to be able to do that on the first test. Now, this is something I'll review. It's on the first test, but what are we learning? This is a division, this division polynomial. So what if we divide it by 2 terms? Then you have to use a long division. But let's start with a basic long division from 4th grade. If you learn properly the 4th grade, you can learn the long division at high school. It's very easy. So we're going to talk about long division, and you learned this last year. I just want to review. All the thing you learned, all the algebra 2 you learned last year, 50% is going to be on your AP pre-calculus exam. It just, this year we're going to learn it right. Last year, I think a lot of things kind of like diluted. Teacher going really fast and not going through details. We need to change that. So long division. You guys didn't know last says 1972 divided by 12. Now, even simple things like this, a lot of you guys don't do it right. First of all, do you know why division is this notation? Do you know why division is this notation? I didn't know either, so don't worry. And until one day I saw some like infomercial online, like teaching people math like in short period, and I thought like information that should taught me something new. He said he went to training a long time ago. Nobody knew this, and he says, well, imagine that it's 8 divided by 2. What does 8 stand for? What does 8 stand for? Maybe I'll give you some hint. What does 8 stand for? What? Liam? Almost. Yeah. The area. Do you see the area rectangle is 8? And this side is the height. They want to find out what is the width. That's the width of a rectangle. Inside the area. Is it pretty interesting? I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought it was like, wow, I never knew why that's that way. It's basically telling you this area is 8, and you have the height is 5. 2, what is the width? Okay, so that's a basic understanding. First of all, there's 2-digit number I'm gonna teach you, and I'm like people probably think like, why am I treating you like a dummy? Because the truth is, I have student in calculus last year pass the AP exam without knowing how to multiply 2-digit number. Yes, it's true. So 32 times 8, the kid went down 32 plus 8. 32, adding 32 8 times. And I'm like, why you never finish my test? And the kid's like, well, I didn't know how to multiply. So I rather treat you like you never learned something, but I wanted you to learn it properly also. So let's look at this 12. You actually don't start at the first space. A lot of people start at the first space. You don't actually start at the first space because there's 2-digit number. You want to go to 19, you're going to go to the second digit in order to do long division. So you're going to be 1 here because you want to get rid of this 1 on the first thing. So 1 times 12 is going to be 12. And then I will draw a notation sign, a subtracting sign, because I will remind myself it's subtracting. Now, why do I do that? Because it helped me with the actual polynomial long division. So this one is going to be 7, and you're going to drop down to 7. So that's going to be 77. And then that's going to be 6, and that's going to be 72. And again, I'm going to draw the notation sign. That's going to be 5, 2, and that's going to be 4, 48, and that's going to be 4. Now, what is proper way to write the answer? Here is the things you don't learn it properly at 4th grade. The proper way to learn it correctly is 164R4. This is what happened in 4th grade, but this is not properly. This is remainder 164 remainder of 4, but that's not done properly. So it's supposed to be 164 plus the divisor, which is 12, and this is 4. And that's a proper way to write answer, because it's 164 and 1/3. And this is the proper way you've done at 4th grade. Now, let's check out, let's say, I don't know, 2x squared plus 2x to the 3rd plus 4x squared minus 2x minus 6x minus, I don't know, 10, something like that, I don't know. And I'm going to say divided by x minus 2. So you're supposed to write it like this. Now, do you start at first space? No, you start at second space because the divisor is 2 space, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to divide it by. Well, what do you need to fill in here? What do you need to fill in there? 2x. No. 2x what? 2x squared is good. Why? Because you want to get rid of this term. Your goal is to get rid of this term. So you want to multiply enough to get rid of this term. So it'll be 2x squared. So it'll be 2x cubed. And that's going to be minus 4x squared. So that's the subtracting. Now you're subtracting here. When you subtract, it's going to become 0. When you subtract this actually becomes 0 too, because it's a negative 4x squared minus negative 4x squared. So it's going to be 0 as well. So you're going to drop the next term. So it'll be negative 6x. You don't have enough to divide to. What do? Put a 0 on the top. Thank you. And drop down negative 10. Thank you. If you don't have enough, you just have to make it become 2 term for you to divide, because you need a 2 term, to divide. This is 2 term, right? And then you're gonna have to, how do you get rid of negative 6x? No. Positive. Oh, no, negative 6 is right, sorry. Negative 6 is right. Because you want to get exactly the same thing as this, so it'll be negative 6x plus 12. And again, this is a minus sign. And this one is going to be 0. I write down 0 there. And this one's going to be what? A lot of people mess up this number. Huh? Is 22 is not correct. It's not 2.
Negative.
negative 22. Because it's negative 10 minus 12. So it's negative 22. So the proper way to write answer is equal to what? 2x squared minus 6 minus 22 over x minus 2. And that's a proper way to write answers. Yes.
Why on the 6x you're subtracting? Why aren't you setting 0?
Yeah, so think about it. If you have negative 6x minus negative 6x, so that's a negative 6x plus 6x, that's equal to 0. So you always go to this minus sign. So I write down a minus sign to remind you to minus. Yes.
So how did you get to the 2x cubed on the variable part? Did you just multiply it out, like how many times it can go inside 2x?
So 2x times this to get this. It's like same thing you do long division, right? You say it's 1 times 1 and 1 times 2. And to get 1 and 2. Same idea. And that's how you do properly long division. Long division is on SAT. I would say it's one student, Jamie, my third period, he got 780 on math. The only question he messed up is he come back after school. He's like, Mr. G, how did I do this? And I'm looking at him. I was like, are you serious? I talked about it first day of school, first 2 weeks, first 1 week of school when we did algebra. And that question was a long division. The only question he messed up was a long division. That's pretty wild. Okay. Now, another thing you need to pay attention to is the descending order. So for example, like if this question is written differently, if this question is written like this, okay. What's the difference between this question and previous question? Yes. Yes.
Because you don't have like an x squared.
Yeah. So there's something called placeholder. I don't know, your algebra teacher teach you that. Is in order for you to do it properly, you actually have to write down the placeholder. So this is 2x to the q, right? The next term that you should have is plus 0x squared because that is a descending order. That order matter, that's placeholder matter. So for example, if you divide by 1907 by 12, is that 0 matter? Yeah, that 0 hold the 10th place, right? You cannot just say, well, let's send things 197 divided by 12. That 0 just gone. You cannot do that. So you have to understand that 0x squared minus 6x minus 10. Now this offers you a different solution because now there's a 0x squared there. Almost same question. It's not different. Now I'm going to do it here. So it's going to be 2x squared. 2x squared times x is going to be 2x cubed. Same thing as last time. This one's going to be negative 4x squared. Now I'm going to draw this negative sign to remind me I'm always subtracting. So we know 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0. But what's the next thing? J? So we got J says negative 4x squared. We got Austin says positive 4x squared. Which one's right? Positive. But J is good. Try it. Sometimes we all do it like this. It makes more easy to know. That I'm glad that you raise your hand says my answer is this. And that's okay. Make mistake right now. You should make a lot of mistake and it's fine. Because you are 0x minus negative. So minus negative. So that becomes positive. So it's 4x squared minus 4x. And I only need to drop 2 terms. I don't need to drop 3 terms because divisor is 2 terms. So I'm going to plus what? What is it? Minus 6? No. Oh, minus 6. My bad. You're right. So what do I need here? 4x, good. So be 4x squared. Replace to here, Now 4x times negative 8 is going to be what? Negative 2 is going to be negative 8x. Is that okay? Now this is subtracting again. Every time we go through that circle of subtracting sign, 4x squared subtract 4x squared 0. This one's going to be 2x minus 10. Why is 2x? Because 6x minus negative 8x, because that's subtracting negative. So that's a equal. Wait, hold on a second. That's 2x, yeah. And then I'm going to plus 2 here. It's 2x minus 4. Subtracting sign. That is going to be what? Negative 6. So you got to be careful of that subtracting part. So it's going to be 2x squared plus 4x plus 2 minus 6 over x minus 2. So you can write down this minus right here, and that's fine. That's a proper answer to do it right way. Questions? So this is all something you learned before. I just review for you. Because we're going to review really fast, and we're going to go ahead to okay, so I'm gonna give it to you one. Now the order I might mess up too. If it's not in the correct order, so it's not in the 3, 2, 1, 0. You can rearrange that to a long division, right? Rearrange that to descending order. So 3, 2, 1, 0. Make sure you rearrange that to get a long division. Okay. So I'm just gonna give you one right now and see if you guys all get the same answer before we move on. So 4x cubed minus 3x squared, sorry, 4x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x minus 1 divided by x minus 1. This is a 3, sorry. And this could be one question on your test because it's just a long division. Except sometimes I don't write this way. I'm going to show you how to do the AP exam, how the SAT wrote in it. Ian, stand up. So this is more like discipline. Just don't mess up the sign, doing the right thing. It's kind of hard to keep up everything, but you probably practice 2 times is good enough. Homework, I could give you like 2 or 3 questions. Maybe in different order sometimes. I will give you different order and also written different way too. Once you're done, check the neighbors, see what they get. Yeah, go ahead and keep on doing it. It's okay. You're allowed to make mistakes. Everybody done? Pick those 2, see what they get. So imagine somebody scored 780 on SAT math. That's the only question they missed. He was quite upset when he came to me. I was like, this is a long division. But the problem is question written differently. It's not written like this, so he didn't know whether to use long division or not. So it's written differently is because it's written this. And he says something is gonna equal to something, and then some type of a. It's a find a value a on SAT. It was some type of x squared x. So let's say ax, bx, and it's the c. So find the value of c. Like try to find the value of c. What does that mean? I'm looking for what? The remainder. So that's a thing that sometimes SAT doesn't write in the question that you know what is written, but it's written this way. You say, oh, okay, yeah, they just want to find the value C because they have multiple choice. There's simple answers. The answer is going to be some different numbers, and you just have to figure out what is it. Now, I've seen some harder question where you had to think about it, but there are things like that. Somebody raise their hand over there. Robert, yeah.
If you have an exponent in the denominator, do you do the same thing?
Like instead of x minus 1, it's x squared minus 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. That's where long division come in play. You have to pay attention on a placeholder. So we're gonna talk about that. So I hear hopefully you guys gonna get same answer. Ian, did you get done? Okay. So that's gonna be x minus 1. So I'm gonna do 4x squared to get rid of this. Jada, did you try? That's going to be 0. And what's going to be here? X squared plus 3x. Perfect. And then, because we drop here, plus x. So it'll be x squared minus x. Subtracting what's going to be here? 4x. Because negative, negative. So it's because always go through the circle. You write down the circle, just think about I always subtracting. So that's why I draw a circle and minus signs there. And then we're gonna do plus 4. So it'll be 4x minus 4. What's gonna be the last number here? 3. And then so 4x squared plus x plus 4 plus 3 over x minus 1. SAT was asking him, what is that number? The number's 3. And that was the only question he screwed up. Now, we're going to talk about something that's harder. Something that's harder is going to be this one. Let's see if I can write down for you guys. Now, here's a problem of this question. This question is a little bit more difficult. Not everybody can do this. Group leader can try. Those are non-group leader can follow me a little bit. Bennett, put your book away. What are you reading, by the way?
The assignment for the next 5.
Okay, so if you think you're strong enough, you can try this one. The problem is divisor has a placeholder. Okay, as well as the blues placeholder in the original function as well. So this one's really hard to keep a track. So this will be the hardest question I can give it to you, but I don't think I'll give you something like this, but I want you to be able to see it. So you're more welcome to try it, but it's not easy. Even for the advanced student, it's going to be hard. So I'm going to try to write down as much things I can possibly think. so far there's no skipping term, but there was skipping term after that. Did you see this is plus 0x and plus 0 here? There was two placeholder in the back. Usually student need to see that. And this is 2x cubed. Do they have skipping term? Which one? 0x squared, good. Good. Plus 1. So the total needed 4 terms. So which term do I star? It's above x squared, right? So what do I need to multiply there? It's x squared. So good. So that's going to be 2x to the 5th plus 0x second, or 0x fourth, right? Plus 0x to the 3rd. And then plus x squared. Does that make sense? Am I doing okay? I'm going to draw a subtracting sign here. Luckily, this all this. So now 0x here. I'm going to drop another term because I need a 4 term in order to divide. And I'm going to plus what? Minus what? 2x cubed times what equal to 8, negative 8x fourth. Negative 4x, good. So that's going to be negative 8x to the 4th plus 0x to the 3rd plus this is second, sorry. Plus 0x to the 2nd minus 4x. Am I going to pass? It's pretty much just require your discipline. That's it. It doesn't require a lot of things. So I'm being very cautious, not making a simple mistake. Even plus 0, I'll write it down because that's could be a placeholder. So that's going to be plus 1, I think. 2x cubed plus 0x squared plus 0x plus 1. So this is subtracting. This answer end up to be negative 1. So the answer is equal to x squared minus 4x minus 1 minus 1 over 2x cubed plus 1. And that's my answers for here. What?
It's like the second one when you said negative x to the negative x to the 4th plus 0x to the 3rd plus 0x squared minus 4x. Where did the 4x go?
Ooh, you're right. See, those are things that you should pay attention to. Thank you. So this one's positive 4x, right? My bad. 4x at, oh, sorry. Thank you, Austin. Okay, so this one is plus 0x. So this one's 4x, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
So 4x minus 1. Plus 4x minus 1. So this is a plus and 4x minus 1. Yeah, something like this you'll mess up. So it's not your so you kind of need to practice a couple tries, make sure that you get it right. So you're gonna have enough practice today. And I'm also gonna show you unstructured question for SAT. That way you know what's SAT, what do you expect. Because they will show you either this format or different format. They want you to find the value A or B or whatever. That's the idea. Now, I'm going to show you something else. Today, I show you long division. I'm going to show you synthetic division. How many of you guys remember synthetic division? Only one? Oh, good Lord. So, I'm going to do those questions again. Copy. Paste. So same question like this. I'm gonna use a standard division. Now, when can you use standard division? So, what is standard division? What's the requirement for standard division? So the requirement for standard division is this has to be, the divisor has to be x plus a or x minus a. You cannot be, it has to be x to the first degree. So it'd be x plus 1 or x minus 1 or x plus 2 or x minus 2, x minus 5, x plus 5. That's all perfectly okay. Cannot be 2x plus 1. I mean, it can be done, but it's kind of tricky. And I don't remember it. I don't really care. So 2x minus 1 could be done. You have to do it a little bit different. But it cannot be done when you have x squared plus 2. So you cannot have, so this has to be the first power. The divisor has to be x to the first power plus a number or minus a number. So you cannot do x squared plus 4. So that division cannot work on that. So I am gonna divide this, and then I'm gonna show you I'm gonna divide this. The best thing is take this number and you changed it. So -1, you're gonna put 1 here. And put a corner pieces over there. And that corner piece is gonna help you to solve the problem. Now rest of them, you should write down the coefficients. What is write down the coefficients? So write down the coefficients. What is the coefficient? But don't forget placeholder. Don't forget placeholder. So if you have something that says 0x, then you have to put a 0 over there. So placeholder. So don't forget the placeholder. Yeah, now you awake?
Yeah.
Okay. So it'd be 4, -3, 3, and -1. Now you draw a line here. Now pay attention. Always drop the first term. Draw an arrow like this. Draw an arrow to replace that space. So that way you know to drop the first term. And that's going to be 4. 4 is going to multiply here and replace here. So it'll be 4 here. And you're going to add those two columns. So it's going to be 1. Now you're going to do 1 times 1. It's going to be 1. That's going to be 4. 4 times 1. That's going to be 4. And that's going to add to be 3. How many of you guys still remember how to do standard division? Good. And let's go check whether our answer is correct. So you see this answer? You start with the x to the third degree. This one's going to be go down 1 degree. So it'll be 4x squared plus x plus 4 and a plus 3 over x minus 1. And that's my answer because there's a 4 right here. There's a 1 right here. There's a 4 right here. There's a 3 right here. And if you look at it, original answer here, these are the same thing. Now you have to worry about placeholder. So I'm gonna give you a question that might require a placeholder. And let's see if you know how to divide. So you have to be able to do both. Today I'm gonna ask you long division, standard division on your homework. Also, I'm gonna mess up the order of the polynomial. Yes.
For when you take the number from the divisor, you just take the number, not the sign. Like if it's like if it's -1 or -2 or +1 or +2, you just take the 1 or 2. You just take the negative.
I take it the opposite. So it'd be if the divisor is x minus 1, I change the -1 to +1. If I x plus 1, then I change it to -1. Okay. So This one I'm purposely gonna give you this way. So 2x to the 5 plus 3x third, I must mention third, plus 2x minus 2x, sorry, plus 6. And I'm going to divide it by x plus 1. Okay? Now, pay attention how many placeholder are they. It should be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yes.
Do you want to take that or
Sunday division. Long division is going to be way too long. So you got to be able to do Sunday division and long division by today. There was a few placeholder. You better know where are they. Remember, a degree should go down by 1. So how many placeholder are they? You switch the positive 1 to Sunday division. Always switch the sign. Did you have 2 placeholders? Do you know how to write an answer out properly? Now, a lot of people prefer Sunday division, and I don't blame you. But sometimes you do have to do question long division. So today's homework is going to be, I will tell you use long division here, and I'll use Sunday division here. I'll even use polynomial divided by monomial, and I say, hey, how do you do this? So this one's going to be the plus 1 change to negative 1. Did you do that? Did you do 2, 0, 3, 0, -2, and 6? Did you do that? Draw a line. Draw arrow. Did you draw arrow? That's going to be 2. 2 times -2. -1 is -2. That's going to give you a -2. -2 times 1. 2. Is that okay? Is this okay so far? What? I take this, I times this, and I place here. Is that okay? So this is 2, and that's 5. 5 times -1 is -5. -5 times -1 is 5. Am I doing okay? No? Yeah, so far? This is 3. 3 times -1 is -3. That's 3. So write down the answer will be 2x. Now this is 5, so it's going to be 4 minus 2x to the third plus 5x to the second minus 5x plus 3 over x plus 1. And that's how you write it properly. Okay. Yes.
You start in the fourth degree. Not the fifth.
Oh, because when you divide this, you're gonna reduce 1 degree because x fifth divided by x to the first is gonna be x to the fourth. Mm-hmm.
When you're writing the placeholder, is it always going to be plus 0?
Yeah, plus 0x. I mean, it's much easier to do a plus sign than negative sign, but there's no difference. I have 2 more minutes. I was gonna talk about remainder theorem, but I don't think I have time. Robert. Okay. So, this is her thing. You told her like do your homework. Yeah, you do something. You do something. But there's not all of it. Yeah. So let's say out of 10 homework, how many did you do? Let's be honest.
I would say
Okay. I can live with that. Okay. It's more like 3, but all right. I'm okay with that. But look, in order to, the test question and the homework question are almost identical.
I feel like I know how to do it. But then all
The problem is, even the 5 that you claim you did, you only did halfway.
Yeah.
And you know that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's more like 3 or 2, right? So the problem is you are smart. You ask a great question. Problem just get your shit done. And look, even you get your shit done, even you do your poorly, even you do your test poorly, and I don't think you will. That's the thing. Like if you get your stuff done, you will not do poorly on the test. You'll get at least 70 or 80. Like right, he didn't do 3 homework, and he just do 1 homework the day before, and that he finished everything. He got a 92 on the test.
Yeah.
You have some talents, right? It's not less. So you ask a great question. You're doing things. You know better math than other people. You actually take this class before, so you should not do bad at this class at all. Okay.
to be honest, I think I'm just usually like, because I'm like not gonna be able to do my. I get home like super late, so I think I'm gonna come very lunch and do my homework.
That's fine. It doesn't bother me. If you just, but don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to your mom. Says, "Hey, look, I did my homework." The truth is, you did. So, I'm a very open book, and because of my open book, I might get fired someday. Huh? Yeah, someday, maybe tomorrow, maybe whatever. But I'm usually pretty honest. So I'm looking for the honesty from you, and so you can take care of your side, and we can take care of your side. If you can take care. You should be one of the group leader, to be honest. Okay. All right.
James, so excited. How long are you here today?
Excited about what?
Because today's the one day I don't have swim or water polo. So I'm actually gonna come to tutoring. How late are you?
There's no right Kevin.
What? That doesn't look like Kevin.
It's like Kevin. No, you raised it. That's really good. That's a beautiful drawing.
This was nasty. Really funny.
Sad.
Yeah.
Why? What is that? Doesn't look like Kevin. It doesn't?
Oh.
I didn't know that either, but that's really good. Realize how good it is. It has, it captured its soul. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Who were Julius most intimate?
Going over.
Mr. Gay, Jeremy, take that down. I'm trying. What is that? Is that a stool lesson? No,
That's Kevin.
it's not Mr. Gay, but I think you should erase that. Yeah, these should erase.
Why?
Because
I feel like
You can't keep the head.
I feel like
I think the body kind of like.
I think Kevin would be kind of.
keep the head in the belly button.
No, don't keep it belly button. Okay. It looks more like Raynon, but it doesn't look like Raynon. Raynon got glasses.
You want me to put three buttons?
No, Kevin doesn't have glasses.
In the Cummings. I thought I got the one.
Student, 1 minute remaining until class.
Never.
You have to do that on everybody else. Actually, yeah.
No.
Really? I got better.
Good job.
That's Pat, bro.
Like, is that the thing? Get them.
I was gonna take his glasses. Right? Should become a friend.
No. Stop being a bully, Mr. Gay. Pick up the for your own age.
I love
You didn't even have the.
people are playing their basketball. It's scary.
Like, I think if I played you now as a kid, like, you know, I would actually, I would actually, like, yesterday, no, I wouldn't get the guy. I was like this tall. I was talking, and he's fast. Like, he's like, he's slow and tall. He's like, he was Asian. I didn't do any of it. Oh, it was like, the dude was dropping. So I had to.
What?
Are you gonna put them for that? You're more like two. Oh,
I heard.
I'm so excited.
No,
I make them up and like, let me see the graph. No, but they said they're the only four players that know they well. They came out last night. And they're doing like original songs, and then they're gonna slowly. Oh no way! I don't know. This is it. Bro, that's the thing, like, I probably play like one day. Like 2 days and.
All right, so yesterday we didn't go over that part. But But I'll go over again just in case. And they're very easy. It's recognize how to graph. I kind of go over already, but you should know what it is. So okay, so like here, you gotta memorize every time when you look at a graph, always look at a f prime of x or a f of x or the f double prime of x. Most of the time on AP exam they ask you f prime of x. So that is usually is f prime of x. Because it's much easier to ask f prime. So pay attention to this. This is the f prime of x. So that's the first thing you need to understand, because always recognize which one they give it to you. Okay? Now, if this is f prime of x, you look at, are they positive? That means f prime of x is greater than 0, above x-axis. Above x-axis. And this is a minus sign, so f prime of x is less than 0, is below x-axis. Okay, so in this particular part, is it below, so you see this region are below, and they get a 0, and then it's below again, it get a 0, and then becomes positive. So therefore, I draw a number line based on this. Negative, 0, and then negative, 0, and positive. Is that okay? Because they're below, and positive. And then that's going to tell me this is a decreasing. This is going to tell me this is a decreasing. This is telling me it's increasing. Is that okay? Am I going too fast? Because the below x-axis is negative. It's negative on f prime x, and that means the original function is decreasing. Good? Now I'm going to check at f double prime of x. Well, so look at here. They says related to f. F double prime is related to f prime of graph. So f double prime is derivative of f prime, which is slope of f prime. Where is the slope of f prime equal to 0? Where is the slope of f prime positive and negative? Right? So remember, f double prime of x is the derivative of f prime of x. Is that okay? Which is also derivative is also known as the slope of f prime of x. Slope is a positive, slope is negative, and that's how you draw a number line. So slope from this region, the slope is positive. Does that make sense? So this is a positive. Slope of this region is negative, because slope is a derivative. Derivative of f prime means double prime. This is a negative. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Kevin, you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you looking at the tangent line?
Yes.
Do you draw it to see if it's negative or positive?
You can. You can look at the function. It's increasing. That means it's positive. If you have anything positive slope, it's going to go this way. negative slope is going to go the other way. Are you sure? Remember in algebra 1, we say slope is this way, is positive. If it's this way, slope is negative.
The graph is above or below the tangent.
No, because you are not looking at you're looking at are they going up or going down, pretty much. And this one is positive, so this one is concave up, this is down, and this is up. So you need to learn how to draw a normal line based on f prime of x. Got it? The next thing is where the x value is critical number. Well, critical number is f prime of x equal to 0. Where is that?
Oh, 100. 104.
X is equal to 1 because this is 0, this is 0, and x equal to 4. Is that okay? Okay. At what value does f of x has relative maximum? Adam?
There is no point.
Everybody agree? Yeah? Okay, yeah, there's no point. So because there is only a minimum but not a maximum. So this is a relative min. Right? So there is a none because f prime of x never change from positive to negative. Is that okay?
Okay. Yep.
Where's the relative minimum at? X equal to 4. But make sure, on AP exam, you have to make sure this. They usually ask you justification. What is a justification? How do you justify this? Okay, how do you justify when is relative minimum? You have to use a definition of first derivative test. And we're going to use that to talk about second derivative test today. This first derivative test says what? How do you justify? You have to write this on AP exam in order to get that point. You can say f prime of x change from negative to positive at, and you have to write it this exactly, and I mean as close as you can. They don't want you, what in the world? F prime of x changing from negative to positive at x equal to 4. Therefore, relative minimum occur at x equal to 4. So that's how you're gonna write it if I ever ask you justification. Got it? When is the f of x is increasing? You just have to read a number line. Where is it?
4 to 5, right?
4 to 5, good. Because it stopped at 5, it did not continue after 5. Now some people say it's a 4. No, 4 is not, because 4 is not really increasing. 4 is at stop. Decreasing is going to be negative 1 to 1. Why do I stop at 1? Because at 1 it's not really decreasing. Union at 1 to 4. Point inflection is x equal to 1 and x equal to 3. Now this one they usually ask you justification. You can say f double prime of x change from, now you have to write this because they will usually ask justification. On my test I'll ask you as well. And I'll ask you justify this inflection point. You can say f prime of x change from positive to negative. or the slope of f the prime of x change from positive to negative. Either one is acceptable.
Like, monsieur, could you zoom into the previous explanation? It'll be the reform relative. X equals.
Yeah, f prime of x changing from negative to positive at x equal to 4. Therefore, relative minimum occur at x equal to 4. Okay, so make sure you write that. You don't need to write essay. If you say a function going down and going up, they will not listen to that. You have to use a definition of first derivative. The first derivative test says if it's changing from negative to positive, you are gonna have a relative min. That's what they say. Over what interval is f of x concave up? Well, concave up is, just look at the sign. It's going to be -1 to 1. And 3 to 5. And this is 1 to 3. And that's it. You finish your whole problem. This is the easiest AP exam FRQ that you're going to have. You don't even have to know math. You just have to know how to analyze math. If you know how to analyze math, they give you all the points, which is super easy. You don't have to know how to do arithmetic. You don't have to know how to do chain rule. You don't have to do some crazy stuff. You just have to be able to analyze a graph. So look at these questions here. Can you guys do it, or you guys already finished? Finish? Check with each other, see what they get.
Oh, like,
Did you just get
Oh, really? What about that?
no.
So we wouldn't include -5.
No.
One negative order.
Well, we have to take. We have to. Yeah. Critical points. Yeah, because then it's critical. That's the critical points. Like when that, like I practiced this year.
I think negative 4.
Sorry, I'm like.
Oh,
negative.
4, 5.
B was relative.
Concave.
You go from 4 to 1.
Is the 1 over 5?
Oh, I was thinking because -5. -4 is where I change it to negative.
That's currently.
And then the -1.
This is positive and that's.
Because you have a relative.
Yeah.
Positive, negative. I got it.
There's something there. It's not differential.
Yeah.
Wait, was A or was it?
Yeah, I thought that's.
So do we include?
Oh, for some reason mine's.
It's changing direction.
Oh, I guess.
So what do you think 5 of x equals 0 to 1?
Like, remember, for 2, it's not gonna be
Negative and. So if you have negative one,
Oh.
the F prime.
that too. I was like, I know that.
So like asking F prime.
Oh.
That's what it's like negative positive. So if you're going down by.
We include 2. It's not differentiable, but it does change the direction.
No.
And x equals 4. Like we can include it 3 or 2 something.
So it's just positive after negative.
No, so I would say like most the middle.
Because I put 2 there because I know like
So like let's say
goes
you
down.
don't have like I don't know if it's down. Like if you're going like negative, and then you're going positive, right? So if you're trying to find your minimum would be kind of in the middle. Because like on the other test, I have a negative here between negative 3 and 1, and then from 1 to 2, I have a positive. So that 1 would be my minimum because it's going negative to positive. And you actually look at the graph. And then, you know, for instance, do you want, I look at that.
Technically 22. I don't know about the back part anymore. I don't think actually. I don't think 2 is actually an answer. I think it's just positive after.
So I'm trying to figure out the slope, like if it was negative. I just want to see that like this one, what do you think is
That's what you're talking about. No, I'm negative 0.
Yeah, you're right. So, on the bread, a little bit of time, just put a big chunk there.
Then you put specifically blueberry jam on the other one. You put them together and you put them on the toast with a little bit of butter. Wait, so what do you get? I played a lot of
-5,
and that's
-4, -5.
actually decent. The other
Because those are the points where FL kind of greater than 0 or is positive. So on the upper line, that's when
Why are you late?
what do you think? It's on the number. That's the F of X. That's F prime. You need
Is that okay? First one. Relative maximum is at x equal to 3, x equal to 4, because it changed f prime of x changed. Remember how to write this from positive to negative. What? -2? -3. Oh yeah. Is that okay? This one should be minimum. So it'd be x equal to 1, right? F prime of x change from negative to positive. And increasing is gonna be it's gonna be, this one's -5 to -3, and then 1 to 4. Decreasing is gonna be what? -3 to 1, and 4 to 5. I think. Point inflection is gonna be x equal to -4, -1, and x equal to 2. It still have a sign change. It does not matter if differentiable or not. Concave down, concave up is going to be -5 to -4, and from 1 to 2. No, sorry. From concave up, it's going to be from -1 to 2, and concave down is going to be -4 to -1, and then 2 to 5. Yeah.
We got a really good point when talking. When you go to the graph, at 2, it's a sharp turn, so it's like considered not differentiable. Does that not factor into it? When does it?
Well, it doesn't factor because you can have not differentiable, but you still have a sign change.
Okay.
So the sign change is still called because the definition inflection points only occur at f prime of x change f double prime of x changing from positive to negative and from negative to positive. So it doesn't matter that part of the chapter. Yeah.
So when you're making like the f double prime number line, and I know you're doing it based on like slope, right? Like if the slope is positive or negative. So like if you do you mind scrolling on the or zooming in the graph a little bit when it's like -5 to or -3, and you're trying to figure out like the slope if it's like positive or negative. How do you figure it? Because it's like a curve.
Yeah, but if you go with a zero slope first, so zero slope happened at -4.
Yeah.
Before that, it's positive.
Okay. So then
After that, it's negative. That's just intermediate value theorem. It has to go to 0.
Okay. And then also for the critical points, I know it's like where f prime of c equals 0. So that's just like, is that just where you can find like the horizontal tangent? Like, I was just a little confused on that.
No. It's just where they cross x-axis.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Well, x equal to -5 should count too. But I think they only cross from one side. Are you okay? You don't look awake. You don't look awake. Do you need to go nurse?
No, it's okay.
That doesn't sound good.
Could you explain why we include -5? Even though it's an endpoint, like how come we still include different critical points and f?
Because the definition of critical number is f prime of x equal to 0. That's it. It doesn't have any restriction.
What about a double prime? What about like double prime? How come we include -5?
Double five. Why you need encoding? You only need have to have a sign change from positive to negative, negative to positive. So it's not encoding -5.
Right.
Yes.
For f double prime, what are you looking for to find it?
That's not critical number. That's a possible inflection point. When they equal to 0 is when the slope is equal to 0. So when at this case at -4 and -1 and at 2, when they have changing sign. So let me know if any questions. This is a very important part of the lessons because this is like easy 9 points on AP exam. And you only need 42 points to get a 3. So that's why most of my students can get a 3 is because question like this, it doesn't require a lot of math skill, just analyzing. If you don't understand, you better make sure you clear it. I remember, like even I have students that are really smart, that they get confused with this too. Like last year, I have student like Rogov. Rogov got a 5 on AP exam, but he struggled with analyzing the graph. So they are specific type of people in the room that is gonna have struggle with the graph. You better make sure you understand it. Because if you don't understand it, you just don't understand it. You thought you understand it, but on the test, you're gonna translate. Rogov was one of them. I think Samantha has a hard time too about translate that thing. So, and she probably could have a higher score too if she know how to do this part very well. But I think at the end of the year she did okay. So there were specific people I don't know until you told me. Like says, I don't understand this. Can you show me again? I don't mind to show you again. But I remember Rogov had to sit after school and talk to me. It's like, why is this? Why is not this? Why is this? Why is not this? A very different like re-editing in his brain, and to modify what it actually understands it. But the big difference is he got a 5 is he choose to understand it before he leave, instead of just leave as a question mark, So that's a big difference between Rogoff and some of you guys. So hopefully you guys be more like Rogoff. Just make sure you understand it before you leave. If you pretend that you understand it, you don't want to make a fool of yourself asking questions, then you're always not gonna understand. And this is the easy part of the test.
Do you want us to FaceTime you too, like he does?
Well,
Do you want us to FaceTime you?
no, him and Marcos FaceTime me like it's like I don't know. Like what the hell are you doing? I'm cooking. I actually bought the whole BC group.
I heard about it.
So like 20 people jump on a video call. I'm like, all I hear like the phone in my pocket, and I start hearing Rogoff and Marcos laughing. I'm like, God, I already hear enough of those laughing from Monday to Friday. I don't need to hear it again. I was like, why do I hear from my phone? That was really bad. All right, questions? Okay, let's talk about Karate Kid. You guys haven't seen Karate Kid? It's not the one with Jackie Chan, by the way. That's not Karate Kid. That's a fake Karate Kid.
Fake one's better though.
No.
No, original one is so bad. Whoa. Original one is whoa. The original one's bad.
Okay, Omar. I'm offended right now. I'm offended right now.
I agree with Omar.
Bro, lots of that.
Yeah, we got it.
No.
Like he was so awkward.
So the first one was so like.
He meant to be awkward. He's a nerdy kid. He get bullied. I'm so disappointed at you. Omar, don't talk to me again. Stop. All right, so I want to show you a scene from Karate Kid.
Did you watch Cobra Kai?
Yeah, but that's so
That's pretty
stupid.
good. That's pretty good. No, like it's a Netflix show. Me? Stop talking. Sorry. He grew up tight like that. Omar. He grew up tight like that. He's my dog.
All right, so this is a movie from 1970s. In 1970 to 1980, there's a person named Mr. Miyagi. So let's kind of give you a whole story breakdown, like in like 1 minute. It's basically this white kid that was bullied by a bunch of karate kids at a school, and the karate dojo they kind of bully him because I don't know for whatever reason, because he looks weak, and then they just like kick him around and stuff like that. So he get bullied so much, and eventually he got fed up. He said he want to go learn karate, so he went to that dojo that all the bullies bullying him, and he went to learn karate, tried to learn karate, but end up they make fun of him and stuff like that. So they decide to bully him, but the Mr. Miyagi comes in, says, we will challenge you after like a month. And so Mr. Miyagi take him over to teach him karate lesson, but Mr. Miyagi never taught him karate lesson. So Mr. Miyagi just taught him to paint the fence, wax the floor, wash the car, and that's pretty much it. So eventually he's gonna quit. He quit it. So he's complaining, he's ranting about, you never teach me about karate. You promised me to teach me about karate.
Oh, bullshit. I'm going home, man. I can't move my arm, right? What are you doing? Ow! Ow, what are you doing? How did you do that?
This is me when I get 60, so 65.
This is this is how you start to be mystery.
Do the long division. Yeah.
floor. Fix up. Thunder floor. Thunder floor. Show me wax on, wax off. Hey.
Wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off. Hey, wax on, wax off. Look to my eye. Not the hand. Come
Look my
inside.
eye. That's what I would say too.
On. Wax off. Show me paint the face. Up, down. Up, down. Up, down. Other side. Look, I polish to die. Paint the house. Side, side. Up, polish. Side, side. Side, side. Touch. Show me wax on. Show me paint the fence. Show me side of me.
Okay, the reason why I show you this movie is not because anything. It's actually because it's calculus. Believe it or not. So my favorite part of this part is actually that they were teaching how to do it. But when I look at this, right, what does that remind you of? Okay, so the reason why I show you this thing is because if it's right here, right, two things happen. First, the slope is of the tangent line is equal to 0. Got it? Now, if it's a concave down, this has to be a maximum. If the slope is equal to 0, I'm gonna say that again. If the slope is equal to 0, and the f double prime of x is negative, then at this point, it has to be a maximum. Same thing as the other way. If you go in from this way, right, that is going to be horizontal tangent, which is slope is equal to 0. And it's concave up. If it's concave up, then it has to be a minimum. So I'm going to write it down for you. What is the second derivative test? And second derivative test, exactly what it meant, like this. Okay, exactly like Karate Kid. Believe it or not. So what does the second derivative test say? But we already know what's first derivative test. First derivative test is changing from positive to negative, then it's relative min. The second derivative test is also a test for maximum and min. It's just a different thing. Okay. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna write down what is second derivative test for you. A second derivative test is gonna look like something like. Hold on a second. It says if f prime of c is equal to 0. So we just define c. And the second derivative exists an open interval contains C. Okay, so first thing that you understand says if f double prime of C is greater than 0, we talk about C is the horizontal tangent. If f double prime of C is equal to 0, then this is the most important part. A relative minimum at C comma f of C. 2. If f double prime of C is less than 0, then a relative max at C comma f of C. Is that okay?
Yeah, and 0 just the x-axis.
0 is not x-axis. 0 is just telling you that f of C is equal to 0. Just tell you C is a critical number. So start with the condition. The C is a critical number. If I told you there's a critical number there, right?
Oh, okay.
Then if the double prime at that particular C is greater than 0, which is greater than 0 is concave up, then that point is relative min. And you can use a hand gesture of a ping the fence. If you really have problem, memorize it. But second derivative test is based on ping the fence. This concave down. This is a C, right? Because this is a horizontal tangent. It's concave down. It has to be a relative maximum. So a lot of people know second derivative test to tell you concavity. No, the concavity is based on second derivative. The second derivative test is tell you where's max and min. First derivative test is tell you where's max and min. They should tell you differently. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, good. So we talk about if you have problem memorize this, Karate Kids, ping the fence. Right, ping the fence gesture, right? So you had to know. I didn't just show you because I like Karate Kid.
Like the wrong Karate Kid in Sweden.
Omar, I'm about to kick your ass.
The only bad part about that movie was ugly Halloween costume.
It was? I don't remember.
The shower.
I remember like I was at college, I watched this movie like so many times because I have nothing to watch. There's no Netflix back then, so you just watch a cable TV and that's the only thing they have.
That would have been awful watching like the second best movie.
Omar, don't mess with me now. Have you seen Back to the Future?
Oh,
Back to the Future, I watched it with my son. I was like, son, you gotta sit down with me, watch it Back to the Future. This is the best movie of all time. So we sit down there. Daddy, this is so boring.
oh no way. That's crazy.
and then he likes it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and then he likes
Is
it.
he gonna put it in
But the problem is I can never remember which one's the first movie, which one's the second movie, which one's the third movie. Because they all like jumbo in together. You don't know which one's first. I actually watching a clip about Creed yesterday. But yeah, Rocky. Yeah, my brother forced me to watch Rocky when I come to United States. So when I come to United States, I was 15. My brother forced me to sit down with him to watch all the Rockies and Princess and Bride. Yeah, Princess and Bride. He's like, this is the best movie, and he make me watch Ferris and Bueller.
That's good.
Very Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller, and he make me force me to watch all the Star Wars, like the old one, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, not the 1, 2, 3, but 4, 5, 6 back then.
It's 4 from 16 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then I had to watch what else? Yeah, there's like specific movies like you had to sit down, you had to Americanize, and I was like, okay. And I didn't get it. Like Ferris Bueller is so stupid.
That was good.
Huh?
It's good.
Let's drive the car backward. Maybe maybe the mileage will go backward. Yeah, so that was a thing.
You watch
Huh?
What do you-
Oh, I watched it. I watched it a long time ago. It was really funny. I thought. Blade of Glory. It was so stupid.
Yeah. Girls.
No, it talk about derivative though. It talk about limit does not exist.
Yeah, people say
She's a
I look like,
athlete.
Carrie Crews.
Huh?
If she's a athlete,
Yeah,
you gotta watch this movie.
I've seen it before.
Wait, what?
People say I look like Terry Crews.
Where did you from?
From Muay Thai.
Taiwan.
Terry Crews. I'm still looking to this one.
Okay, how much time we have? Okay, so here's the thing. Last time we already graphed a function. We didn't ask you the curve sketching. But so let me ask you to graph this. So I'm gonna give you the original function. I'm gonna give you a first derivative. I'm gonna give you a second derivative. So f of x equal to x4 minus 12x to the cube for third plus 48x squared minus 64x. Now I'm gonna give you f prime of x also. It's gonna be, well, this one's equal to x times x minus 4 to the third. Now f prime of x equal to 4 times x minus 1 times x minus 4 to the second. F double prime of x. Now, I'm assuming you know how to take a derivative, so I'm going to give you a derivative right now. So I'm going to ask you to graph this based on all this information here. I give you the original function, I give you the prime, I give you the double prime, and I want you to graph this function. So that means you have to do a number line test. You need to find x-intercept and y-intercepts. So always find x-intercept and y-intercept, and always using the first derivative and using the second derivative, and do a number line test. And I want you to sketch this graph. We kind of did that yesterday, if you remember. Now I just want you to do it on your own. So I give you the original function, the prime, the double prime.
Scrapped it, yeah. Find their x-intercept minus points. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. Yes. Horizontal tangents. Equals points. Welcome to the place. You plug it into the original first. No, plug it into the whole to the really nice.
you had to find the maximum and min inflection point using a cross to represent inflection point. You always have to go back to original function to find out the y value. Inflection point maximum min. On the test, I'll ask you a simple one like this to graph everything from scratch. But it's not as high as this one. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Yuri, if you're not feeling well, go home. You don't look okay. Not done yet. Go grab it based on this information.
All I did was find it.
Go find it, everything. You had to find a coordinate for x-intercept, y-intercept, relative min, relative max, inflection points. If you find a coordinate, that means you had to go back to original function to find a coordinate. I'll go through it on a video if you need help, but it should be fine.
Yeah, so you can just put a square in there.
I think I started with the problem wrong. I was thinking of setting up like a point intercept form,
Huh?
and then like I'll find the points when it's plugged in.
No, what?
I feel like this whole step was unneeded.
Yeah, it's not needed.
Right. So I should just do the number line test for the derivative and the double prime.
Yeah, and then you find out the point of relative max, relative min, and inflection point,
And just connect.
and we'll connect them based on the thing. So
Okay.
we're gonna give you some homework practice about it, but I'll show you on the video.
Cool. Thank you so much.
It's always connect it back to the.
Original equation, plug in the original equation. So you find that, let's say, maximum happen at 2. Then you plug in 2 into original function to see what the evaluation is. Then you can go in to draw a smile face is maximum is a front face, which is upside down face, and minimum is going to be a smile face. And then you go in to see if you can connect the dots. But had to base on your concavity though. Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Hi, can I speak to Jennifer Henderson? Case number is 2230420. My name is Donald Ye.
I'm TBCF.
Oh, no way. Yo, congratulations. No, that's.
They put me in summer though. I don't know why.
Me too.
Yeah. They put me in summer. Everybody gets put
Wait, you also accepted? Yo, why did you tell me? Nice. Wait, so what's summer?
Yeah, they make us. They're putting us in summer. You can't change it.
The only difference is that like, you have to pay one summer.
That's it.
Yeah. During your first year. I emailed them about it.
What honors for your pride?
UF, University of Washington, University of Washington.
Why you really want to go Seattle?
Have family. It's also there's more to like
You want to be an engineer? But your first year you had to pay out-state tuition.
But then my mom's gonna be with me, so we're gonna try to apply for residency.
But I think the first year you had to pay.
First year, maybe scholarships in the South of the globe.
Oh, you do you have other siblings?
I have siblings.
You don't make out.
I get 40.
What does your parents do?
My mom works in real estate. So she could do her job.
You probably had to get a license in Washington. I mean, UCF's actually for computer engineers actually pretty decent. It's fine. Summer, no summer, it's just I'd rather get things started. All right, so All right, so did you guys finish your homework? It's only one page. It only takes like 3 minutes to do. It should be pretty easy. So here's the answer I got. Yeah, x equal to -5 is also a critical number.
Even though it's an endpoint.
Yeah, because it's still f prime x still equal to 0. Which one? Letter F, x equal to -4, -1, and 2. AP exam, this part is very easy because, but there are some people will not understand that. So you gotta ask question if you don't understand what is going on. And last year I remember, some of you guys know Rogov. Rogov got a F5 on AP exam, so he didn't do bad. He did pretty good. But I remember him after the class, like he keep on asking me question about this. He's like, I don't get it. So there are some people that just doesn't. This knowledge is gonna be really hard to translate, even though that he or she has a 5 on AP exam. It doesn't mean that can translate right away to thinking wise, because a lot of people try to think of that original graph, how's that affecting original graph. Basically, the information you had to learn how to dissect from there. And so I rather you ask me question like right now, like Rogov did, is before the class end, he's like, well, I don't understand this part. So he really want to understand before he leave. And there was a difference between him, he got a 5, and other people who choose to says, oh, I think I got it. And then they screwed up on the test, and then they don't understand. Now this information here is worth around 7 to 8 point on AP exam. And like I said, you need it only 42. And this is 7 to 8 point is without doing the arithmetic. So I love the points that you don't have to do arithmetic, because some of you guys were like algebra skills kind of weak. So you need this points from here. You gotta make sure you got 100% correct. Yes.
Confused on the number line for f.
Okay, good. So what are you confused about?
I thought my points as -4.
You mean inflection point? -4, -1, and 2. Because it doesn't matter if that point is not differentiable. Actually, there are a lot of points not differentiable here. But the second derivative is based on, the inflection point is based on if they change in sign from negative to positive. If it did, then that's a inflection point.
Doesn't matter if the second derivative.
Nope. That's a common question. Kaden looked like she needed a lot of sleep. know, just put your head down for a little bit. It's okay. Next fear. Okay, Ria. What'd you say? And what? Okay, so that's good. Because you see the slope is equal to 0 here. And slope is equal to 0. This is going to be positive. This is negative. Negative. Positive. After that, this is 0. So, yeah, so if you have change it of slope from positive to negative, because inflection point is, okay, let's do second derivative normal test. Did you do number line test correctly here? Okay, so any number that you have changing of sign, that's the cause of inflection point. It doesn't not matter if they're differentiable or not. In this particular case, -4, -1, and 2. You think about it from here is positive equal to negative. This original function is going to have inflection point. This and this original function is going to have an inflection point. Because this one's positive, this one's negative. Original function is going to have inflection points. I didn't answer your question. Are you sure? I don't mind you. I can ask me as many questions as possible. I'd rather you understand this. You guys need a calculator soon? So I will get TI-84 CE, but you're more welcome to get Inspire. Some people claim that's easier to use. I just don't know how to teach it. So last year I have Xavier here. Usually he'll help around out of my BC kids. One of my BC kids, he's really good with calculator. He'll help other people like that. And I just don't have that access of that anymore. Xavier's no longer around. There was a lot of tricks that it doesn't really intuitively working. So for example, that I don't know. Even like how do you change your answer to not a scientific notation? That was sometimes calculator has glitch and I just don't know how to solve it. But TI-84 CE, I do know a way to solve it. It doesn't matter what. There's always like one way to solve all the problem. So it's very intuitive. For me, college is enough for you to use TI-84. I don't know why Inspire is more popular in high school, but 84 is definitely good enough for stats as well. So it's not a big deal. So you need a calculator soon. So get one if you don't have one. If you cannot afford one, because you need it for AP Physics and AP Chem as well. TI-84 is good enough for both of them. Yes. Sure. Yeah, the one Josh Kim has is good enough. So get one if you don't have one. If you sometimes I buy through Marketplace. Let me see what's Marketplace. What's Marketplace? You're on the left hand side, right? Where's Marketplace? Right here. Okay, so TI-84 calculator. This one for 70, you can probably talk down to like 40 because that's pretty beat up. There's actually not too many around right now. Okay, this is a 50. Oh no, this one's shitty. This one's TI inspired. That's actually not too bad for 50 bucks.
Not a CAS.
Huh?
Not a CAS. So it's
Yeah. But it's not bad for 50 bucks.
Wait, why do you need the CAS?
This one's 80 bucks.
CAS is way better for this too.
Oh,
This one's too expensive. But yeah. So there are some people selling for cheap, but you have which one?
yeah.
The first one is fun. I can teach you how to use that one. That one is no problem. 84 is easiest to use, like intuitively. It doesn't. 84 CE is probably it has a color. It has rechargeable battery, so it's good. So, but you have to recharge it. That's that. Okay, so what I'm gonna talk about next. I'm gonna talk about. Have you guys seen Karate Kid? The oldest one, not the Jackie Chan one, not the shitty one.
It's pretty good. It's good. I like the Jackie Chan.
You never seen the original one.
But it looks too like gimmicky.
What?
It's like I don't know. I like Jackie Chan.
There's. Have you seen Mr. Miyagi?
Oh, wait.
Mr. Miyagi?
See the dude like caught it with a chopstick and fly.
Yeah. So Karate Kid. The reason why I want to show you this is because something else. So, okay, so okay, so basically, how many of you guys have never seen this movie before? Never? Okay. So, okay, so basically, there's a white kid that is just getting bullied at school by other white kid. So it's not even like a racial issue. So this,
Clarifying that.
yeah, it's like you thought like it's a probably like. Where's this going? And let me explain. I'll tell you what it's like. All right, so shh. So if you've never seen this movie, basically just this white kid is scrawny little white kid. He just get beat up at school. Like, you know, back then they shoved people's face in the toilets and the stuff like that. So shh. So he was a guy to get bullied, and he bullied by a bunch of kids. That there was a dojo right next to the school. I think they called it Cobra Kai or something like that, or whatever, right? And then this dojo's karate kid would be bullying everybody in school, not only one kid. But he was the worst because he actually got bullied and he got fed up, and he decided to join that dojo, and he got made fun of because he's too scrawny, and then Mr. Miyagi happened to walk by the dojo and can save him from the dojo. But he actually, I think if I remember correctly, he's actually in the dojo for a little bit, and he just got everybody bully him, and then Mr. Miyagi actually go into the dojo, bring him with him, bring the Daniel into the karate dojo, and ask Lim says, you know, we would like to compete with you guys against you guys, and we would like to kick your ass, and like 2 months later for the competitions, and they just laugh it off. So the whole time that Mr. Miyagi promised Daniel like he will teach him karate lessons, but instead, Mr. Miyagi just asked him like paint the fence, like paint all the fence in his yard, and like walks out of cars, and then never taught him anything about karate, and also wax the floor and stuff like that. So this thing is basically the thing that he was complaining. Huh?
I can't move my arm. You don't. What are you? Ow! Ow, what are you doing? Oh, show me. Stop the floor. How did you do it? Shut up. Stand up. Look. Please, stand up. Show me. Stand the floor. Stand the floor. Stand the floor. Face up. Stand the floor. Stand the floor. Show me wax on, wax off. Hey. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. Hey, wax on, wax off. Look in my eye. After, I'm inside. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. Show me interface. Up, down. Up, down. Up, down. Other side. Look, I always look I. Show me paint up, side, side. Not tourist. I, inside. Show me wax on, wax off. Yeah! Show me paint. Show me side of me. Yeah! Yeah! Show me side of floor. Yeah!
So why do you think I show you this movie? Huh?
It's so good, bro.
That movie is so good.
It's so good.
That's like the dumbest thing I've ever watched.
Even though the matter wants some Fortnite game.
Shevin, I'm about to kick you out of my class. This is how am I gonna teach people math when I'm 60?
You're gonna have to complete
Now what's the purpose of this? Well, the purpose of this is I'm trying to introduce you ideas, okay? So is this part basically right here, what I want you to see is right here. It's not the whole movie. So it's right in this part, right here.
Show me interface. Up, down.
So right in this moment, this is the key moment I want to show you. In the calculus, there's something called second derivative test. And it's very important. What do you see here? Huh? Okay, that's good. Okay, who wanna be my disciple? Nobody?
Sean would love to do this.
Who wanna be my Daniel son? Come on, Sean.
You get Tyler because he looks like.
Huh?
You get Tyler because he looks like.
I just look like Ronnie White did. Okay, so paint the fence, right? So go ahead.
I've never seen a karate kid.
You never seen it? Okay, so I'm gonna teach you. Okay, so paint the fence, right? So this part at this peak right here is known as a what? Horizontal tangent. That means it's still.
That's still basic math I've ever seen.
That means slope is equal to 0, right? If slope is equal to 0, now it is concave down at this critical number. Your hand shaking. Why so weak? You can lift 250 pounds and you cannot lift all your hands still?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. So right here is gonna have a concave down. So if the concave down here, that means this is already predetermined. It's horizontal tangent. That means f prime x is equal to 0. But it's concave down. If this point's concave down, this means this has to be a relative max. And this is what the first derivative, second derivative test tell you. And same thing on the other way. So go down to here, right? Is concave up. Now it's also horizontal tangent. Those you guys cannot see. You guys come here. Okay, so is concave up. Now is horizontal tangent, which is f prime c is equal to 0. If f prime c is equal to 0 and it's concave up, then this is what? Min. Thank you. Okay, so max, min depends on the concavity. If the concavity can tell you is positive and f prime c is equal to 0, this means a relative min, relative max. Is that okay? That's what I'm trying to get to. It's called second derivative test. Thank you. So you're like, what Mr. Mr. will show me a clip of Karate Kid for like 5 minutes. What is he doing that for?
What's your opinion? I'll remember that was your opinion.
What? What's this? Oh. My favorite part is that he just like he didn't look at his eyes, so he just slapped his head. It's like that's my favorite part. It's like yeah. All right. So so this is hold on. Let me see what quick time. Okay, so this is second derivative test. The second derivative test says if f prime c is equal to 0, and the second derivative exists on an open interval containing c. Okay, so let me know if you don't understand any writing. So I'm gonna repeat it again. Second derivative test. If f prime of c is equal to 0, and the second derivative exists on an open interval containing c. If f double prime of c greater than 0, then there's a relative minimum occur at C f of C. Second thing is f double prime of C is less than 0, then relative max, because less than 0 is concave down. Concave down is going to create a maximum at that particular point. So this is known as a second derivative test. Now, if f double prime is equal to 0, f double prime times C is equal to 0, that's inconclusive, but we're not going to worry about that. We're going to worry about the relative max and the relative min. So let me rephrase everything. A lot of time people thought the first derivative is to test increasing and decreasing. No, the first derivative test is known as to test to finding where the relative maximum min, but just different way. Is looking at the positive to negative to say that's a max. But the second derivative test is actually doesn't. Second derivative test is that critical number, if you plug in the second derivative and you got a negative, if it's a negative, then it's concave down, therefore it has to be a maximum. If it's a concave up, then it's going to be a minimum. Does that make sense? Okay, so anytime you have forgot about the second derivative test, what that is, usually people does forget what a second derivative test is. Just remember, second derivative test is like Karate Kid. When you have a horizontal tangent at that particular point, and second derivative is negative, then that particular point is a maximum because it's concave down. And if it's the other way, it's concave up. There you go. Wesley, do you do karate?
Nope.
No?
I just love that shit.
You love that show?
What is
So we have to kick Chauvin out of the classroom. We're gonna bully him. He looked like a kid I can bully.
If he goes to the gym, it's GA.
I'll take all your lunch, just like I did to Deshaun.
Jay behaving the gym hard.
He came and beat me on arm wrestling.
Jay's gonna come back next year like Jack this between
Like Sean. I'm back like Sean.
Wait, does one say minimum or maximum?
The one says minimum. Two says maximum. Come on, Anderson. Wesley's face turning red. Don't mess with Anderson. He knows how to flip this walk. It's got those muscles, right?
I just realized.
Anderson parents are Fuzonese. You guys know how to flip this walk. You guys have muscles, right? Huh?
I don't think he heard anything.
I know.
Dude, walks are hard. I have a walk in my house for some reason.
You do?
Yeah, it's like found one.
Okay.
I haven't used it yet.
Questions? Now, I want you to grab everything from scratch. I want you to grab this function. I give you the original function. The original function is, actually, let me give you the original function is x times x minus 4 to the. Okay, so I give you the original function. I also give you the derivative of the function. I also give you the second derivative of the function. What I want you to do is I want you to find coordinate of all these points. Coordinate of the x-intercept, y-intercept, relative maximum, relative minimum, and also find interval of increasing versus decreasing, which is number line test will help you with that. And also inflection points. inflection point. And also find concave up and concave down intervals. After you find this information, I want you to graph this graph from scratch. So you don't have no calculator. You're gonna graph everything from scratch. Okay? So let's do it.
What are the last two?
The last two sets inflection point and concave up, concave down. So I want you to find all this information, which is you had to do the first derivative test, second derivative test, or first derivative and second derivative number line test, sorry. And then you want to find all the information and then you want to sketch your graph.
Wait, you already gave us the derivative.
Yep, I already give you a derivative. I'll make it easier for you.
Also, number line test of each like what?
I'll be good.